All right. Hi, everyone. Hi. Thank you for coming tonight to hear about community colleges in the United States. What we're going to do is show a quick video, and then we're going to move into a presentation. But I'd first like to introduce myself and my colleagues. My name is Suzanne Gregolot. I'm from the College of Central Florida. And this is Ms. Ann Chu. She is from Skagit Valley College in Mount Vernon, Washington. Next is Veronica Rodriguez. She's from Delaware County Community College, which is in Pennsylvania. And this is Ms. Eliza Plouse, who's from Moraine Valley Community College, which is in Illinois. Okay? All right, so what I'm going to show you now is a video about our schools.
All of our 5 campuses have housing for all of our international students.
A comfortable, safe, secure place for students to live, to adjust to life in the United States.
We want to make sure that they have living that is conducive to the college environment, but also that's in close proximity to the campus.
The surrounding communities are very safe.
Very nice place.
I usually ride a bike to school. It will only take like 10 minutes.
We have students from every part of the globe, so they get the support services that they probably would not receive at a larger college.
Students come here and they can meet students from all over the world.
I have met all kinds of people.
I have friends from Germany, Africa,
from all over Asia.
Students from Benin, from Brazil, from China, from Hong Kong, from Vietnam, from Poland, just everywhere. And our students get together and they meet people from around the world.
And that helps foster an environment. It's open to international students.
I think the value of studying in the U.S. for an international student, it certainly would lend to their depth and breadth of education in general.
The experience that students gain from getting education here is so important for their success wherever they're going to be in the future.
We're all here for one reason, and that's because we want students to be successful in the classroom and outside the classroom.
I think when students come here, they're going to find teachers that are extremely dedicated to them.
Our faculty have master's degrees and doctorates in their fields.
All of our professors here care about students.
You get help when you need. Everybody is ready to help you. You don't feel like you are all by yourself.
My teacher was awesome. She was just really connecting with us, and she understood us.
Here they have the flexibility, they have the freedom to really focus on their teaching.
A lot of them are award-winning faculty members. Many of them have opportunities to be at a large four-year university, but really they choose to be here because they get to really focus on the student.
We also have relatively small class sizes.
I think a small class size, you're able to give more individual attention to your students.
They're in a small enough environment that when English is not your first language, you can actually raise your hand and ask a question and not be afraid to do so.
It makes me easier to involve in the class.
Our faculty love having international students in their classes because the international students do work so hard.
I love teaching international students. They're some of the best students that I've ever worked with.
I learned a lot. I didn't think I was going to learn that much in just one semester.
It's made in a way that you go to school and at the same time you enjoy it so much.
We can be a chance for them to meet their goals in a way that they wouldn't have been able to as a first-year student at a four-year university.
And that environment is supportive for students to be successful, and international students thrive in that environment.
The 5 schools in the consortium, we really go out of our way to provide really strong student services.
I get great support from the staff here. They really help me a lot and they're really nice.
I help students with everything from registering for classes, going through our orientation programs.
The other worry that parents have is, how is my child going to get from the airport to the school?
They said they'll pick me up at the airport, and I came in like late at night, probably like 1 a.m. And there was somebody there picking me up.
Holding a sign with the student's name.
They drove me to the dorms.
For our schools, we do not require Toefl. They'll come on our campus and we will give them a placement test. The placement test, if their English is high enough, could put them directly into their degree programs.
We do help students in selection of classes to take.
We really work together to make sure that we're both meeting the goal of the student.
But we also help them open up a bank account. We essentially take care of them in all their needs.
They help students to plan which university they'd like to go to.
There's really such a long list of where our students are transferring to. We've had students go to Temple University,
Florida State University, the University of Central Florida.
I've had them go to University of Washington and State.
We had a student go to Cornell this year. They go everywhere.
I think the biggest satisfaction for me is seeing students graduate.
You know, so it was really easy to transfer all my courses. It was all automatic, really trouble-free.
Our international students are going to get this help to be successful.
They really prepared me to make the next step to apply at my university in Germany.
They do everything they can, and they do a great job by supporting and helping me.
We want to help our students gain the skills that they need.
I think I will be able to go back to my country, to the rural areas, and serve the people there.
They come here because they want to succeed.
I got pretty lucky.
We see them achieving their goals, and they do it. They do it all the time.
Use the full screen and go to playlist and here. Awesome. Okay, so that video is, I hope it showed you a good look at what the campus and what the students feel like at a community college. It feels a lot like a university. It's got buildings, students walking around, classrooms. So the campuses feel just like universities. All right, go. So let me click on. So I introduced my 4 colleagues here, and this will show you a map of the United States so you can see where we're located. Up there, Seattle, Washington. Skagit Valley College is in Mount Vernon. It's about an hour outside. Fresno, California, Chicago, Illinois, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Orlando, Florida. So us being here, we're then able to explain to you and show you how transferring works, costs, everything in all these different states. The people here behind me and myself are very experienced with community colleges, so we'll be able to answer your questions about all these different regions. And I have to click. Okay, so first thing I wanted to show you is what is a community college. In the United States, community colleges are also called junior colleges or 2-year post-secondary educational institutions where students can complete a 2-year associate's degree. So generally that's the difference between a university, which offers 4-year degrees, 8-year degrees, medical schools, and a community college. Most students are going to go for 2-year degrees, but I will explain that some community colleges do offer bachelor degrees now and technical programs, ESL. There are just over 1,700 community colleges across the United States. Community colleges are very popular, and almost 50% of Americans begin their higher education at a community college. So it's very, very common for American students to start at a community college and transfer to a university. What can I study at a community college? So if you want to know what you can begin, basically you can study ESL, English, if you need help with your English language skills. We also offer associate degrees, and there's two types. There's the transfer degree, which is part of the 2+2 program, and career degrees, which is where you're doing more of a specific degree program with the intention that after completing it, you can enter a job with those skills. And then bachelor degrees. Some community colleges now offer 4-year bachelor degrees. And then this model here shows you 2+2, so if you need ESL first, and then 2 years at a community college, 2 years at a university, and that will give you a 4-year bachelor degree. So what kind of associate degrees can you study? What majors, what program? This list gives you a small sampling of what you can study. You can start almost any bachelor degree at a community college. If you're interested in accounting, biology, business, journalism, IT, pretty much if you want to do it, there's a community college that offers that program for you. On the other list there you see career degrees. These are more focused towards specific jobs. There's going to be a little bit more hands-on training. You're really going to feel at the end of your 2 years that you really learned how to be an employee in that job. Some of them do include transfer pathways with universities, but you'll want to check and talk with your advisor to make sure you're picking a career program. If you do want to go to a bachelor degree, make sure you tell your advisor that so they can let you know if you're in the correct program for that. So, associate degrees at community colleges are about 60 credits to graduate. And that's going to be made up of 36 credits of general education courses and then 24 credits of electives. So the 36 credits are going to be what's called your core courses. In the U.S. educational model, that means you're going to take math and English, science, humanities, social studies, maybe an art class. That's going to be your core educational general classes. Then you're going to have 24 credits of electives, and you're going to want to take those in classes that are applicable to your major. So if you are in business, you'll want to take electives that relate to the business major. And then when you transfer to a university, the bachelor's degree is a total of 120 credits, so that's half your associates. And then, so the associates is half of the bachelor. Now, if you go to a school, there are some states that work on quarter systems, and they may call the credits clock hours. They may call them, another term, classroom hours. And so if your school does, if an associate degree is 90 hours, and then the bachelor degree would be 180. So whatever numbering system your school uses, it's still the same. An associate is half of a bachelor's. So this map, this pyramid here, will show you how you can move through the U.S. educational system, starting at the bottom, a community college, the first 2 years, and then moving up to the university undergraduate would be 4 years total, 2+2, and that would give you a bachelor degree. You can move on to a master's program, and that can include a master's, like an MBA, Master's of Business Administration, or it could be a specific program if you wanted to go to law school or a specific program at a university, and then finally onto a doctoral program, which would also be called a PhD. So that's kind of an explanation of how you can build on your degree and keep going to school to earn further credits, further diplomas. Okay, and then what you're going to see here when you see those orange arrows, those are showing you where you can, in the United States on your F1 visa, apply for a special program where you can work for 1 year. You do not have to change your visa. You do have to submit paperwork and a fee to apply. It's called OPT, which means Optional Practical Training, which is where you would work in a field related to your major, and you could work full-time, part-time, paid, unpaid, and that would be something you could do if you'd like to take 1 year breaks between each degree. It's optional. You can either go very quickly through what you want to accomplish, or you can take breaks and work to add that to your resume. Okay. So the advantages of starting at a community college include small class sizes. At community colleges, Classrooms are much smaller. The professor knows your name. You can raise your hand and ask questions. That's a huge benefit. Universities usually have huge lecture halls where you come in and you just listen to the professor. You don't really have a lot of time to ask questions. So if you need more one-on-one time with your professor and need to be able to interact and ask questions, a community college may be a better fit. Student services that are comparable to universities. Nowadays, many community colleges offer very good services to international students. Some people think that because you go to a university, they do all these great things for international students, and if you choose a community college, they won't do that. But that's not true. Community colleges are trying to do all the same things that universities are doing, so including housing assistance. If you want to live in the dormitories, or if you want to live in a host home program, or find a roommate in an apartment near campus, most of the international offices will help you with that. Airport pickups, most community colleges will help you coordinate your arrival. Orientation program to help you get settled, learn about American culture, just know what's going on in your campus. Tutoring, library services. Community colleges have modern, high-tech classrooms. Even though we're going to talk about tuition later, but even though tuition's cheaper, you don't have any sacrifice in your amenities at the community college. Most are putting a lot of money into the buildings and the classrooms, so you'll feel like they're just as modern and updated as a university would be. Social activities, on-campus activities, clubs, organizations, fairs, and then also off-campus field trips. Community colleges are doing all this nowadays, so there's a lot of opportunity to make friends with other international students or with American students, lots of social networking going on. And international offices, meaning that you have dedicated staff members to help you with your immigration advising, your scheduling, everything like that. Most community colleges will have a dedicated international office for you. Then the other thing is the benefit of that extra year of OPT. If you do 2 years, you get to do OPT for 1 year and work if you would like to, and then 2 more years, and then you get another year at your bachelor degree. So if you go to university and you do the bachelor degree all together, you only get 1 year of OPT. If you go to a community college first, you get to do 2 years then. Okay? University transfer assistance. Most community colleges are going to have staff members that will assist you for free with applying to universities, selecting them, figuring out which ones are good fits for you. So we'll do university transfer assistance. Flexible admission policies. This is a big benefit of a community college, is that most community colleges are going to be flexible with their admission, including that they may accept lower TOEFL scores or not even require a TOEFL score at all. So universities are almost always going to require a TOEFL score or something equivalent to prove English, and it may be very high, whereas a community college will accept students and help you with English remediation. So you can get to the United States and study your English quicker by living in the US. Transfer agreements. Community colleges now have transfer agreements in place with universities so that there's a smooth transition upon starting at the community college. You know if there's a pathway for you once you graduate that you can go down. So if you pick business and have a university, a lot of community colleges have these transfer pathways with universities so that you have a guarantee or a specific detailed qualification that you can reach to gain entrance to that university. And then transfer scholarships, which are a big deal. There's a lot of scholarships specifically for community college transfer students. If you join clubs or you are have a high GPA in community college, you can transfer to universities and gain scholarships along the way. A lot of people think that they just apply for scholarships when they're in high school or starting at the community college or university, but that's not true. You can actually keep applying for scholarships while you're in school. And a lot of community colleges actually will do their scholarship based on the student's GPA at school. So they want you to enroll for 1 semester, then award you a scholarship based on how you do at school. Okay. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Nope. Okay. And I'll take questions at the end too. All right. So this is the, oh yeah, sure. Credit.
Credit here is it
Like what does credit mean? No, credit's different. So usually one college class will be worth 3 credits. And so when you pass, you get 3 credits. So that means a community college that's 60 credits would then mean 20 classes. Some classes may be 2 credits, some may be 4, but most are 3 credits. Okay? Oh, yeah. And that usually relates to how many hours you're in the classroom. So one class that's worth 3 credits means 3 hours per week in the classroom. Did that answer it? Yeah? Okay. Excellent. Excellent question. Thank you. So financial advantage. This is the biggest reason why American students and international students choose community college, because of the financial advantage. So this shows you the average cost of an academic year, including tuition, fees, housing, meals, book supplies, insurance, transportation, everything, at a private 4-year university living on campus, $43,000. Okay, so it's pretty expensive. And then at a public 4-year university, it would be about $35,000. But at community colleges, the average range is going to be between $18,000 to $25,000, depending on the community college you choose. So it's much, much cheaper to go to a community college before you go to university. But I want to go back to what I said earlier about the fact that the campuses are still modern and high-tech. The reason is that community colleges receive money from the state and the government through taxes, and they use that to update the classrooms so that you pay a lower tuition rate, but we are still able to have very updated facilities on campus. Whereas universities don't receive as much money from taxes from the government, so they have to charge the students the tuition to run their school. Okay. Do you want me to, I can come back to this page later too, but okay. Is that it? All right, so just to go, I'm going to let each of us talk a little bit about the school we're from and about the state that we're here representing. So because we're going alphabetical, my school is College of Central Florida, so I go first. College of Central Florida is located in Ocala, Florida. That's just outside of Orlando, and Orlando's home to Disney World. Yeah, you guys know Mickey Mouse and everything? Pretty fun. Orlando's a really cool area in Ocala. It's sunny. We have hot, hot summers. We have mildly chilly winters, but it's a very fun campus. Athletics are really big. People just dress really casual. We try to take field trips to the amusement parks and the beach and lots of great places. Orlando International Airport is the closest airport to us. We have 8,000 students, 100 international students. Popular majors include business, engineering, medical majors like biology and nursing. We do have dormitories on campus if you'd like to live in dormitory. It's a really fun social campus. And just like all the other schools that are here with me today, we have English programs, affordable tuition, all those offerings that I mentioned earlier, all the advantages of a community college are things that our school offers. So if you're looking to, and Florida, just so you know, in the United States, is in the southeast. Okay, so if you're looking at the map, all the way at the right, on the bottom. So it's a little far, but it's really fun, beautiful, beautiful beaches in Florida. Beautiful weather. Okay, so next I'm going to turn it over to Miss Veronica Rodriguez from Delaware County Community College.
Hello.
And just you have to click.
Okay. So Delaware County Community College is actually in Pennsylvania, in a suburb of Pennsylvania. So people kind of sometimes get confused because they think it's in the state of Delaware, but it's not. It's, you know how here in Korea we have like province areas, like separate areas. We're just a county. We're closer to the state of Delaware, but we're actually in Pennsylvania. So we're about 30 minutes outside of Philadelphia. We're about 2.5 hours away from Washington, D.C., 2 hours from New York. The Poconos is about 2 hours where people go skiing and snowboarding, and then the Lancaster, which is where the Amish County is, about an hour away. And then we also have beaches, which are about like another 2 hours. So we actually have a little bit of everything. A lot of history. U.S., was born in Philadelphia. Lots of U.S. history, so lots of tourism there. It's a great location. Currently, we have about 200 international students, about 40 Korean students. The diversity of our international program, we have students about from 54 different countries, which is amazing. So the thing that is nice,
You have to click where the arrow's hovering over. I couldn't figure out the arrows. Yeah.
So the weather is like similar to here. You have 4 seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall. It's about 3 months of 4 seasons. Winter is like cold, but not like freezing cold. It's pretty average. We do get snow and rain. Summer and spring, the same type of weather. The other thing with the location, so we're like a suburb of Philadelphia, which is really great. You can get to our school by bus or train, but also you can get to DC, New York, and everywhere else on bus or train, which is great. So we have a lot of top universities nearby, being in Philadelphia. So you have the University of Pennsylvania, you have Drexel, you have Penn State. So a lot of students like to be in the area so they can go visit the schools that they potentially want to transfer to anyway, which is also a good advantage. And like she said, we have the most popular majors right now are business with our Korean students, accounting, and recently early childhood education. We have sports clubs, soccer, volleyball, tennis, basketball. Our basketball team is very good. We almost won our division last season. We lost the last game. And we do have really good advanced technology in our school, which is the building that handles all of our manufacturing, 3D printing, welding. So that's been a really big kind of, they're putting a lot more money into it because we received like $50,000 from JP Morgan. So there's a lot of money going into advanced technology, very good STEM science engineering program, a good art program as well, really good graphic design faculty, people really into gaming for some reason, game design. We hold transfer fairs and job fairs throughout the semesters. So the jobs like local manufacturers, Boeing, all the companies, they come on campus. They recommend students to come by, bring their resume. Maybe you can get an internship. Maybe you can volunteer or do some work for them. We also have transfer fairs where more than like 15 to 20 universities, 40 universities, which we want to create the pathway for you to go to, come on campus. And then you can actually meet their representatives and find more about their college. Our top 3 transfer schools are Temple, Penn State, and Drexel University. And I'm going to...
And next up, we have Ms. Eliza Plows from Moraine Valley Community College. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here. So my name is Eliza Plows, and I work at Moraine Valley Community College. We are located in a suburb of Chicago, Illinois called Palos Hills. It's a very safe, quiet, peaceful suburb, but only 30 minutes from downtown Chicago. I live in downtown. I drive every day. It's easy to go back and forth. So you might know a little about Chicago. It's one of the largest cities in the United States. The weather can be a little crazy. So right now we have a lot of snow on the ground. It'll be a nice surprise when I come home. But for Korean students, I think no problem. And summer is nice and hot, and we do have beaches in Chicago. Moraine Valley is the largest of the colleges that are here today. We are about 18,000 total students. But don't worry, it doesn't feel so big and scary. It's actually pretty nice. It's a big campus. It looks a lot like a university. We have about 250, 260 international students. About 45 of them are from Korea. We have students from about 45 or 50 different countries, so it's quite diverse.
Chicago is a great location to study in. There's many excellent universities. It's a major business center. There's lots of famous art, architecture, great sports teams. Engineering is a big field in our city. So it's a great place for you to study. At Moraine Valley, some of our most popular majors for students are probably business, engineering, education. From the career programs, the non-transfer programs, we have excellent programs in hospitality and tourism, in culinary arts, in some computer technologies, in automotive technologies, and there are also business and management non-transfer programs also. So it's a great place for a variety of majors. I think it's a great choice for students who like to be near a big city, who like that flexibility of suburbs and downtown, and like all the other schools, we have many, many social activities, so it's really fun. One of the best advantages is access to Illinois top universities. So if you are interested in University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, University of Illinois Chicago, Illinois Institute of Technology, IIT, or some of our private universities like DePaul University, Loyola University, many other small private schools, they know our students well. We have a very good reputation, good transfer history, and a lot of our students get very generous scholarships to go to those schools. So if you are interested, I will be happy to answer your questions after the program. And next, I would like to welcome, who's next? Who's next? And Ms. Valley.
Hi everyone, hope you're not exhausted getting information too much from many people. So I'm Anne and I'm from Skagit Valley College in Mount Vernon, Washington. So in the map that you have in the brochure on your table, you can see this is the map of the United States, right? And number 1 is Florida that my friend Suzanne just presented to you, the first person. Number 2 is Pennsylvania that Veronica that mentioned to you, the second person. And number 3 is from Illinois that Eliza just presented to you. And me from Washington, number 4. So you can see, so we are over the United States. So Skagit Valley College is located about 1 hour north of Seattle. Did you know Seattle from Washington? Yes, it's a very big city. A lot of Korean people and other Asian ethnic that live there too. And we are about 96 kilometers from Seattle Airport. We have about 5,000 students and 190, or right now it's about 200 international students. And 20 of them are Korean. We want to see more Korean students there to enrich our diversity on campus. We, as my colleagues from other colleges that presented to you about community college in the U.S., we have transfer program, ESL program for international students. My school, we offer dorm on-campus housing, so you can stay with the host family, an American family, or you can stay in the dorm right on campus too. And the campus is located in a very safe, friendly, small town, quiet town, so you can focus on study. But in the weekend, if you want to go outdoor, do outdoor activities, hiking up to the mountain, kayaking to the ocean, to the island, or you can go to Seattle, or you go up to Canada just within 1 hour. So you can do all of that stuff. And it's very close to a very famous shopping mall, so you have access ability to all of the services that an international student would need. And as you know, Seattle is a big city with a big company as Microsoft, Amazon, Costco, Starbucks is right there too. The coffee, yes, headquarters Starbucks is right there. So a lot of internship opportunities for students, for international students, if they need more experience after they finish the program. And we have the high school completion program, which is for international students that's 16 years old, and when you have not finished your high school program. Like if you don't have high school diploma, if you don't have Toefl score, you can still apply to Skagit Valley College and start the program with us, with maybe English program and then college degree. After 2 years of the associate degree program, you can get the high school diploma at the same time. So if you need more information or you have any other questions, you have my contact information with the business card on the table. Just give me, just send me an email anytime if you need. Thank you. I will pass it back to Suzanne to present to the next school. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. So there's one more school that I'm going to talk about. The person who's from the school wasn't able to make it tonight. West Hills College in Coalinga, California. It is located about 45 minutes from Fresno, California. That's the closest airport, and that's where they pick the students up. And Coalinga is in between San Francisco and LA. It's a very small school. It's the smallest school out of the group here, with just over 1,000 students total and under 70 international students. So it's going to feel very cozy, just like a high school. Everybody's going to know you, the professors. So there's going to be a lot of easy built-in friendships just due to your proximity. There are dormitories. There are female and male dormitories with employees that live there. So that's a great option to live on campus. And there's a cafeteria with meal plans. Popular programs include, of course, business engineering, early childhood education, and then also agriculture and business. So if you're interested in those programs, this is a great school. Of course, being in California means that you have very good information and access to the UC system. So University of California schools, UC Riverside, UCLA, UC Berkeley, or USC. So if you're interested in a California university, this is a great community college that can get you there. The director of the International Student Program is a graduate of this community college, and he went on to graduate from UCLA with a bachelor degree. So very knowledgeable staff about getting into California universities starting at this community college. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about are the things you should consider when you're choosing a community college in the United States. Like I said in the very first slide, there's 1,700 community colleges all across the United States. So there's lots for you to pick from. You want to first think about the geographical area that you want to live in. So things like the weather. Do you want hot weather, cold weather? Do you want to live on the West Coast so your flights are nice and short? Or if you live on the East Coast, all the big cities, Washington, New York, Philadelphia, are very close and have train systems that you can get to without a car. So lots of parts. America's very, very big and very different in all the areas. So do a lot of exploration, because the community colleges may all offer very similar services, offer very similar transfer associate degree programs. So where you live geographically will play a big part in how happy you are at the school. Transportation, you want to see if the school's in a city, in a safe rural area. Sometimes getting outside of the city means cheaper rent and cheaper cost of living for driving. And it's also maybe safer in the suburbs, but still have access to the city to go to concerts and museums on the weekends. And what universities are close by. If you complete a 2-year associate degree in any state, you can transfer anywhere. So if you do your 2-year associate degree in New York, you can still transfer to a university in Texas. It's possible. However, most states work inside the state to build relationships between the community colleges and the universities inside the state. So it's a little bit easier and smoother to go from your community college to universities if you stay inside the state. It is possible to go outside the state, but us as staff members, we have to do a little bit extra work and be very careful that you're taking the right courses for that. So the other thing you want to consider are the degrees that are offered. Like I said, most are going to offer the same associate programs, but a lot of community colleges have very special, unique programs. Skagit Valley has environmental science because up in the Northwest, that's very important. Hospitality programs, medical programs. A lot of community colleges might offer very, very specific, unique programs. So if there's something you're interested in that's unique, you want to do some research and see if there's a community college that offers that. Consider your housing options. Do you want a homestay? Do you want to live with an American family and learn about American customs and culture? Or do you want to live in dormitories, traditional residence halls with all other students? Or there are sometimes apartments near campus. Those are options too. So check out what your school offers, because housing will affect your day-to-day happiness and your schedule and everything like that. And then, of course, tuition costs. Community colleges still range in tuition, so take a look at it, see what the cost of renting an apartment, buying a car, buying groceries and clothes, flying, plane tickets, how much that's going to cost. So take those all into consideration when you're choosing a community college. And then when you decide on the community college you want to go to and you're ready to apply, the first thing you're going to do is usually the community college will have an application. That's the first step. You're going to want to find out whether they do a paper application or an online application. If there's a fee, how much does it cost? Up there are multiple start dates annually. So most community colleges, they might have 3 semesters and take students 3 times a year, probably January, May, and August. Or the school might have 4 terms and take students 4 times per year. Some community colleges may only take students 2 times per year, January and August. So look into that, make sure you know when they're going to be accepting new students. Flexible Toefl and Ielts policies, see what the school requires. They might be very flexible, they might not require them at all, or they might accept low scores. They might offer a placement test at orientation, and you could do both and see which one's higher. High school transcripts. Usually you have to check with the community college and see what the procedure is, whether it needs to be translated into English, whether they accept certified copies, whether they work with a company here in South Korea that you can use. Community colleges have all different admissions procedures, so just check the website. They'll clearly state this is how you send us high school transcripts and do specifically what they say. And then, as Anne mentioned, in the bottom here, community colleges in Washington State, such as Skagit Valley College, offer a high school completion program, which may not require this document. So that would be a program if you're at least 16 and you did not finish high school, you can go and complete your high school requirements at that community college and then attend for your associate at the same time. Financial sponsor bank statements. So this would be a requirement to secure your F1 visa to get admitted to the school. That's something that's required. And each school will give you specific instructions. They may have a form that you just complete that form and turn in your documents. And then usually a copy of your passport. And these are all because the schools know that you're going to need an F1 visa. So these are the requirements. The first part of what you need to do is turn all of this stuff into the school to get your acceptance letter. Then once you have your acceptance letter, you'll contact the embassy to schedule your appointment to apply for your student visa. Okay? And that's how you apply to the community colleges. And that's it for the PowerPoint presentation. So now I'd like to open it up to any questions. I know it was like a lot of info, so do you want to go first?
Yeah.
Awesome.
What about their different systems? They adopt different quarter and semester system. Like West Coast, they use semester system, quarter system. And East Coast is semester system. And when you get your associate degree and when you transfer, I heard there are some systematic error, like you can't apply because of those because you did not took all your credit because of the those kind of techniques more?
Sure, and I work at a school that works on the semester system, and most of the schools in the south and the east part of the United States do that. But yeah, you're correct. Some some schools work on a 4-term system, and some schools work on a 3-semester system. I would say that if there are complications when you're transferring, those can be clarified by the 2 schools communicating and sharing those records. An associate degree is a 2-year degree, whether you did it in 4 terms per year or 3 semesters. Some of them, like I said, might have 60 credit hours, and a school that has 4 terms might call it 90 clock hours, but what the schools do is they convert that. So I think what happens then is if you're in the other system, you're getting 2.67 clock hours per every 3 credit in a semester system. So the school record office will go ahead and they'll take those transcripts and they'll kind of do that math and figure out what you had. So I would say there might be complications, but the 2 schools will try to communicate with each other and clarify so that the student, you shouldn't be losing any credits that you earned, or you shouldn't be, having to repeat anything. It just requires some extra communication between the 2 schools. But yeah, it happens, and your American students go through that too. So when they transfer schools, so. That's just, schools have to cooperate and discuss it and make sure you get everything that you earned. Any other questions? No, unfortunately, I had tried to get someone to come and translate, but unfortunately they weren't available. So, no, it's only me. Okay.
If he goes to America, then he needs to take a ESL class. He should, or he also have a Toefl score
70? Okay. Most schools, there are some schools, every community college is different. So each community college sets their standards. I can answer based on our community colleges. Some will accept TOEFL or they may not accept TOEFL. That's up to each school. At my school, we accept a TOEFL score of 61 or higher, and that score will put the student directly into college level courses. I know 61, so at Delaware and Pennsylvania, they do not accept TOEFL. When the student comes to orientation, they will take a placement test at orientation, which will place them into classes. And at Moraine Valley, 71. So 1 point, unfortunately. But they give a placement test all of our schools give placement tests at orientation. So the student will take that. And our placement tests usually are going to test the student in English and math. So even if he's bringing in a TOEFL score, he'll still need to do that math placement test. At Moraine, he'll do the English and the math with a 70. Unfortunately, 71, even though it's so close.
It's so fun.
Well, and usually our tests are either free at some schools, or $5 or $10 is very common, whereas the TOEFL is like $100, and our placement $70. Oh wow, 170. Wow, that's crazy. One test. The other thing is all of our schools, our placement tests, the results are instant. So as soon as the student has finished the test, they immediately get their score sheet with the grades, whereas TOEFL, I think you have to wait and log into a computer to see weeks later. So
does that mean there's a waiver? Like if you're above a certain TOEFL level, you don't have to take a placement test?
You don't have to take the English one at the schools that allow that. There will still be a math placement test, except Delaware, which will still test you. But if you did well on the TOEFL, this test is the same thing. So you would just do it again, and I'm sure your scores would be very, very similar.
The reason you have to take a placement test for the math that required for all students. American students have to take that test too. Yeah, just like you will still take some math class and English class, just like Korean language class here in Korea. So it's required for all students, not just international students.
Even our domestic students that apply to the school, American domestic students, the high school students, if they don't score at a certain numbers in their SAT, in the math, and in their English, they have to take
this placement test. And then when I talked earlier about general education requirements, what Anne was mentioning is even when you're in then college level, you will take college level English 1 and college level English 2 with American students. So it's all about writing essays and learning to master the English language in order to write different types of essays depending on whatever career you have to know how to write. So it's that would be what's called college level, English 1 and English 2. Below that is what would be remedial English level courses to help, and those get broken down into grammar, speech and listening, writing and reading, and those are for people learning English as a second language. So that's kind of the ESL courses, and then English 1 and English 2 are regular college courses.
Actually, he stayed in Korea for 18 years. So it's not easy to take a class in the college in US. So I think he should take the ESS for 3 months or 4 months and go to the regular class.
And we can, during orientation, we can have him take the placement test and discuss the score results and show him what he could take the last level, like you said, about 3 months worth. And we can also, when we start bridging the student into college classes, if they're doing some English and some college, we try to pick courses that would be very, I don't want to say easy, but there would be very much about participation. So a health and wellness class where students learn about nutrition and exercise, or an intro to computers classes, or a leadership class where you learn about how to be a leader and how to work with others. And so classes like that are all about participation and in the classroom activities, so that students can do those classes, which do count towards their associate degree, so they're earning college credit. But those instructors are very friendly to international students who are still working on their English. Then if they take those classes and they're comfortable and they've lived in the States and they live with their host family or their dorm, and then the next semester they can start to take some, social science 1 or science 1 and see how they go. And we all work with international students all the time, students that come and they're nervous and shy and scared about their English, and we really do try to transition them in a comfortable pace. So the students are going to feel like they're just dropped into class and that's it. There are so many support services, tutoring, conversation partner classes where they're paired with an American to practice English in a social environment. Offices, they can come talk to us if they need help. We can try to change things in their schedule. So students don't just go to class and then that's it. They either succeed or fail. There's so much help and support that's all free for the student to participate in. And we really monitor them, especially in those first semesters, because we know it's kind of like a little hill. And if you get to that top and you're okay, you'll be good for years. So there's a lot of support.
Special organization or special features for international schools in your each college?
Special organizations for international teachers. Can you
so conversation partners.
I would say the closest thing to that would be conversation partners, where the student gets paired with another student as a mentor, and it's usually an American student, and they are a mentor with that student to help them. And then the other thing would be private tutoring. And at all of our campuses, we offer free private tutoring. So the student goes to the office and they sit down and they can do, for us it's like unlimited. They have to schedule in 1 hour blocks, and they can go and sit and have private tutoring with the tutor. So that would be the service of the International Program Office. Yeah. And then we have in our International Student Services office, they would come and see the staff members, and we could set them up with all of those services and help them. Excellent questions. Yeah.
You mentioned about OPA.
OPT. Yeah.
OPT, sorry.
Okay.
So I thought it was, if I just go to 4-year college, I can get 1 year OPA at OPT, like after like graduation. But if I go to community college, like after 2 years, when I graduate, I can get OPT.
Yeah.
But it's like when I transfer to 4-year college, does that mean I can study in that 4-year college while I'm working?
What happens when you're on OPT is if you do transfer to the university, that immediately ends your OPT. So that would be one thing. The other option would be is if you're on OPT and you have an employer who is okay, like you might be working 5 days a week, 9 to 5. So you really want to concentrate on what your employer needs as part of your job. But there are students that it is legal that maybe you could take a class as a transient student, meaning that you're just taking one class, and that's something the advisor of the school can help you and show you what options. But if you're working full-time, that would be your concentration is working full-time, and you only have 1 year of it. So if you apply and you pay the fee to do it, most students want that 1 year and they want to focus on the job because after the 1 year's over, you return to school. So what you can do, and
It's good for you.
a better option would be if you would like to go to school and work at the same time is when you go to the university, you can get an on-campus job, and you can do that at community college too. So after you do 1 year of OPT and you successfully are at your university, you can get a job on campus. You can work up to 20 hours per week while school is in session, and that's an excellent way to get letters of recommendation. If you need to practice English, that's a great opportunity, and they're usually very good social jobs, receptionists, stacking books, anything really. So on-campus employment would be a better way to do both at the same time.
Actually, in Korea, there are many private agencies to help students to go to abroad university or colleges, and they sometimes they advise me that my son, he has a Toefl score 70, then you'd better go to the lower level state university, not colleges, to go to the target university. So I want to hear your opinion.
Well, my personal opinion is that community college is an excellent choice if you're looking to then go to a high-ranking university. That model is designed for that purpose. So it's designed for your student to go for 2 years at a community college, work on your English, work on any math you may need, get those, get that half, those 60 credits, the half of the bachelor's done, and then transfer to a much higher university. At the same time, that university is only going to be looking at what you've done at community college. So it's kind of like you get, I don't want to say a do-over, but that university is not as concerned with what the student did in high school because now it's been 2 years at community college. They want to know what happened in those 2 years. Did he join clubs? Does he have letters from his professor? How was his GPA at the community college? So that's a better model for what you're trying to do. Applying at a lower level state university, what they're going to want is for the student to stay there all 4 years. So all the programs, the academics, everything's going to be designed for that. It's not impossible to transfer from a low level state university to a higher ranking state university. That's a personal choice, but I highly recommend the community college pathway because that's what most American students are doing and international students. That's a designed pathway for that. So all the support is for the students to do that.
Sorry, I hope you don't mind. One thing I want to add, and I think none of us mentioned this, is that studies actually show for international and American students that students who start in a community college and then transfer to a university are more successful and have a higher GPA than students who start freshman year in a university.
Especially a university that your student does not like, right? Because if he's not happy at that university, that 4-year state university that was easier to get into, if he doesn't like it and he's not happy, he's not going to go to class, his GPA is not going to be as high, all those things. So if you go to community college, you get a lot of boost in, what's the word? A boost in, Confidence, that's the word. Thank you. Boosting confidence from the community college, and that really reflects students mature over those 2 years. I think that's a much better model. Whereas if you look at that state university to transfer, that higher level university might think like, well, you're quitting that university. Why are you quitting? Whereas a community college is not quitting, it's graduating and transferring.
Yeah. So I'm the only one out of the group that actually went to a community college and transferred to a four-year school, and I have a degree. Both of my nephews, high GPA, transferred both from community colleges, got $4,000 to transfer each to Temple University. One's physical therapy, one's cardiac surgery pre-med. So they're very successful. They have 4.0s in their program. My sister also, community college nurse, graduated from four-year degree. She has her nursing degree. And my niece right now is at community college. And so it works. All of my student loan debts are from my four-year college, none from the community college. I have zero debt from the community college. So I just like to tell people that, because I think people don't understand that it actually works for most people. I've had a lot of success with it. And it's geared for a lot of people who are just not ready to go into that giant school all at once, because it could be a lot at once. Since we have that smaller setting, you feel a little bit more support. You get to know your classmates closer. Your teacher answers your question when you raise your hand. I know somebody who's at a very large school right now, and their kid has to press a button, so the teacher, because it's like 150 students in a lecture room, so they have to like press a button so they know that they're in the class, they have a question. So, I mean, it really depends on how you learn best. How are you going to be most successful? If you're going to be successful in that closed environment, it works. So I don't want you to think that it's not real, because I've done it.
Okay, so and the recording's over for everything. So if you guys have any questions, you have all of our contact info. We'd be happy to kind of hang out after and answer some questions for you. You guys are taking a quick picture, but Anne, you wanted to?
Yeah, I just want to add 2 points on how or should we choose a 4-year university to start with, or a community college? First, I think my personal experience that 2 years at college and then transfer to university, a lot of students can get the scholarship from a university easier than that to start at the first year. Yeah, so the university, they tend to give the scholarship if they doesn't care that if you're international students or American students. They just give you if you have a GPA 3.75 and above, for example. And I've seen a lot of international students can get that grade because they're really focusing on studying. So that's the first point, scholarship to study the last 2 years of your bachelor degree at the university. That's an advantage for international students. You have 2 years to work on your GPA to get that scholarship, which you cannot get from the first year when you attend the university, 4-year university. The second point is that it's depending on the student, what the student wants their student life is. At the first 2 years, if you want a big campus with a lot of people, a big city, or you can go to a university. But if you want something more personal attention, you want to see to see more people like you, so you don't get homesick, and staff like us can help the students more closer. And then you can choose a community college. It's not the wrong or right decision. It's just depending on the lifestyle the student wants to have.
One more thing I want to add. Sorry. When our students transfer from Moraine Valley to big universities like UIC or University of Illinois or Indiana University, don't get me wrong, they're very happy there. They're proud of themselves. We're proud of them. But when they come back to Chicago to visit, they stop by our office and they say, we didn't realize how much you do for us and how much attention you give us. Thank you. Because at big universities, you're just a number. You know, it's a great education, but you're a number. And at our schools, we know all of our students personally.
So on the brochures that you got, I'll have website info, emails, everything, contact all of us, contact me, contact Vinnie Flores here at Education USA. If you have any questions. All right?
I have to edit something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Including
Okay.